Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here or you've been here before but have not subscribed yet, please do so, along with hitting the thumbs up button for me. Also, turn on a notification bell so you're alerted when I drop a new video or go live. Like today, brand new video, did some analysis. I was looking at the minutes, wondering why are the Knicks failing when it comes to the fourth quarter. So I have some data to show you guys. It's all from NBA Advanced Stats. It's going to be a quick little video. Let's get to it. Basically, we saw the Knicks struggle against the Pacers late, and we know that they gave up a 10-point lead recently and another 5-point lead recently. So I think there's something going on. The Knicks are currently 4-5. They are too good of a team to be under 500, to be kind of, middle numbers. So let's just get to it. See, a lot of it could possibly be the bench. Now, I know the Knicks are thin right now, but the Pacers were thin the other night as well. And Carlisle chose to go 10 deep, about 9 deep. And Thibs decided to go about 6.5 deep. It was really just Deuce that played for most of the game off the bench. In the second half, Tyler Kolek didn't even see any floor time. Now, I know Campaign is hurt, he's out, and we know about the Landry Shamet situation. Precious Achiuwa has been missing, so he's part of the depth. They're part of the depth of this team that Thibodeau trusts. But the reason you have a bench is because you need players to play. You need bodies on the floor to eat up minutes. And if your starters are eating up too many of those minutes, things could come back to haunt you. Now, look at here. This is pretty small right here. I'm going to show you a larger version of this. Let's get to that right now. So you can see here, this is the bench. This is all teams' benches. The Knicks have the 30th ranked team in terms of minutes played from the bench. The lowest amount of minutes played at the bench, 12.4 minutes is what they're averaging. And in turn, they're averaging the least amount of points contribution from the bench, under 20 points. The only team in the NBA that's getting less than 20 points per game from the bench, and that's the New York Knicks, 19.9. Now, again, missing Campaign does hurt, definitely does hurt, but it just shows you right there that teams that don't utilize their bench usually are ones that are going to struggle. Keep moving forward here. All right. Then here we see, this is the first quarter. This is just starters, first quarter. The Knicks ranked number 1 in most minutes played by starters, with 10 minutes played by quarter. And in terms of points scored, they are scoring, just with the starters, 24.6 points per game, which is good for 6th best in the NBA. However, when you look at the whole team score, which is in the orange box there, they are averaging only 26.4 points per game. So less, the bench is contributing less than 2 points per game, and which brings down the overall scoring for the Knicks to 22nd in the NBA, from 6th to 22nd. That's pretty dramatic, pretty dramatic. Then you look at the plus minus. They're a minus 0.2. Move forward. Then in the second quarter, the Knicks once again, starters, are playing the most minutes, 8.2, but they are scoring the most points, 24.4. And in this quarter, the bench is kicking in something. They're kicking in 4.2 points per game, which is bringing up the overall score total to 32.8, which means the Knicks are the leading scoring team in the second quarter as a team overall, and with their starters. So that's interesting. That's very promising. Now here's the third quarter. Third quarter, the Knicks as a team are 10th in points scored, 29.7. But with just the starters, they're averaging the most minutes, 10.2, over Sacramento, 9.5, and they're averaging the most points, the starters, actually in the middle column, is 27.1. But again, the bench only kicking in 2.6 points per game per quarter, per the third quarter. So it brings up to number 1. And in three-point shooting, they're 46.2%. I'm throwing all these numbers to you, but don't worry, I'm going to recap it as we go through it. Now here comes the fourth quarter. This is just the starters. The fourth quarter, the starters, the Knicks now plummet to 13th, 18.4 points. And as a team total, they are at 26. They're in the bottom 5 of points scored in the fourth quarter, averaging only 25.6 points per game. And when you look at the plus minus, they're a minus 2.7. And when you look at the 3-point shooting, it plummets from number one. Were they number one or number two? They were number 2 in the third quarter. They plummet to number 26 in the fourth quarter. Now, what does this all mean? How do we wrap this all up? All right. This is basically quarter by quarter the game. This is everybody, not the bench, not the starters or the bench, or whatever. This is all players. First quarter, Knicks are 19th in plus minus with a 0.8. But in the second quarter, they jump to 4th best with a 4.6. In the third quarter, still very close in the top 10. They're number 7 with a minus 3.0. But when it comes to the fourth quarter, they plummet all the way to 29th. Only the New Orleans the New Orleans Pelicans are lower with a minus 4.7. So a minus 3.6. Now look below. You can see the break right there. Starters minutes. This is just to see it. Just clean as day. First quarter, Knicks number 1 in most minutes per starter. Second quarter, number 1. Third quarter, number 1 with most minutes played by starters. When it comes to but in the fourth quarter, interestingly, they dropped to 10th. But by that point, the team is probably so fatigued that they cannot. Their efficiency just plummets, as you could see in the fourth quarter's 3-point percentage numbers to 27.3% is what they're shooting in the fourth quarter. So look, one of the reasons why the Knicks are the best team in the second quarter is because they play their starters more often during the second quarter than other teams do. Most teams, that's when they reach to the second unit, or they have maybe 1 starter out there with the second unit, maybe 2 at the most. But the Knicks right now are playing 4, often 4 with 1 bench player, sometimes 3 with 2 bench players. But it's only for very sparingly. So as the game wears on, As the game wears on, the starters get more and more tired. And now I rewatched the second half, let's put it this way, of the Pacers game, the most recent Knicks-Pacers game. And you could see it. I mean, at one point, the Knicks got the 5-point lead early in the fourth quarter, and then weird things happened. Balls bouncing off guys' chests, balls pouncing off guys' faces after they're expending a lot of energy trying to play good defense, trying to create deflections, trying to get their hands on the ball defensively, but they weren't able to. And that is another sign of fatigue. When you're not crisp, when you're not grabbing the ball cleanly, it's because you're worn down. So it's really simple here. This is not minutes police stuff. This is minutes facts right there. You see it. The bottom row just tells you exactly what the deal is here. Thibs, no matter what the situation is, you have to extend to at least a 9-man rotation. Now, 2 of those guys can maybe play 3 or 4 minutes, but the other 2 guys have to give you substantial minutes. Now, Deuce is being one of them, but what about Matt Ryan? Where was Matt Ryan against the Pacers? Also, where was Hawk Porty? Where was Hawk Porty against the Pacers? His physicality could have been used. His rim protection instincts could have been used there. A lot of times what happens where the Knicks were expending too much energy on offense because they take too much time to get over the half court. Almost every time it's like at 7 seconds they cross over. And the other thing is the Pacers were picking up Brunson on the in the backcourt. So you're making him have to really work to get across the line. And then by that point, we've already lost precious seconds to get into an actual offensive play. I think at this point, it's pretty clear that no matter the situation, look at Rick Carlisle. He played guys that hardly ever play. This guy, Enrique Freeman, Jarace Walker did get in there. He was filling in for Obi. They were missing Obi Toppin, Andrew Nembhard, and Aaron Nesmith, who, key guys. And they were able to overcome that because Carlisle trusted his bench and Thibs did not. There you go. I want to hear your thoughts and feelings. And tonight's game against the Sixers, I hope the Knicks really put it together because they need a win. They need a win right now. All right. Thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Hit thumbs up and share this video and drop your comments. I want to know how you feel about it. And I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.